Tonight on the Extra Point, I'll give you a recap on what is arguably WKU football's most monumental win this season.
And Sam Porter joins us live to talk WKU men's and women's hoops. All that and more as the Extra Point begins right now.
Extra Point.
Good evening, and thank you for tuning into the Extra Point. I'm Madison Bonzo.
And I'm Katey Cook. Madison, I know you like to talk.
And I know you do as well, Katey.
Well, it's a good thing we got 30 minutes. Let's talk some sports.
Let's do it.
I spent my Saturday afternoon at Houchins-Smith Stadium. Let's take a look at what went down as the Tops took on the Charlotte 49ers. On a beautiful day for WKU's homecoming game, the Tops didn't delay their offensive attack as they crossed the goal line within the first 6 minutes of the game on an 8-yard bullet from Mike White to Dion Yelder. That initial lead didn't last long as the 49ers came out ready to attack. Aaron McAllister took it to the house for Charlotte on their first drive of the game, knotting the score up at 7. A close first quarter is something WKU has been pretty familiar with this season, and with a 3-2 record going into the night, Hilltopper fans were a bit nervous to see how this one would play out. But Mike White made sure fans wouldn't go home disappointed as he found 5 different receivers in the end zone.
This was not an expected outcome for us to be able to have our most explosive offensive display of the season.
Going into the game against the 49ers, the WKU offense had been a bit rocky, but on this night, 15 different targets were found for a whopping 506 passing yards.
Whenever you can go out there and get all your guys involved and get everybody the ball, who knows? One of those are bound to break, and it happened today. We had 5 different guys score, which I thought was awesome.
And when it was all said and done, the Tops came out on top, 45-14.
So next week, we're going to bring same energy, same outcome. Just keep rolling, one game at a time.
For the Extra Point, I'm Katey Cook. WKU heads down south to take on Old Dominion tomorrow. Kickoff is at 5 p.m.
In a Conference USA matchup, WKU is set to travel to Norfolk, Virginia to play Old Dominion. This could be a challenging game for Western's offensive line because the Monarchs lead Conference USA in both sacks and sacks per game. WKU quarterback Mike White is hoping to stay on his feet with the help of O-line preparation over the past couple practices. Neutralizing the pass and getting the ball out of White's hands will be the key to the Hilltoppers leaving Virginia with a win. Kickoff is set for 5 o'clock Friday evening.
And what has been a weakness for us has been playing, great football on the road. We got to do that this week against a very good Old Dominion football team. Talent is there. I really do believe that Old Dominion has, if not the best coach in this conference. What he's done at Old Dominion, Bobby Wilder, is incredible.
After career game in WKU's homecoming win over Charlotte, a Hilltopper senior earned a stand-up-and-cheer worthy title. On Wednesday morning, Dion Yelder was named the National John Mackey Tight End of the Week. Among WKU's 15 receivers, Yelder outshined them all with 7 catches for 92 yards. This is the second time this season Yelder has been honored by the John Mackey Award Selection Committee. Rumor has it that college years are the best ones of one's life. However, some WKU football alumni may beg to differ at that statement. A well-known Hilltopper names have moved on to pursue successful careers in the NFL. Taywan Taylor is proving to be a strong player on the roster for Tennessee Titans with a 53-yard touchdown catch, leading to a Titans win from this old topper. Tied in for the Indianapolis Colts, Jack Doyle scored an 8-yard touchdown catch in the same game. For the Baltimore Ravens, Bobby Rainey served as primary kick returner with a 93-yard impressive touchdown return. Looks like these pro tops, there is more after you graduate. The Western Kentucky men's and women's basketball programs finally received some hype for their upcoming season. The annual Hilltopper Hysteria event took place last Friday evening in Diddle Arena. This free event gave basketball fans the chance to see the top scrimmage each other before the season schedule kicks off. In the men's red versus white scrimmage, white player Dwight Colby was the leading scorer with 20 points, and freshman Nigel Tampa lead the women's scrimmage with 11 points for the white team.
Everybody's all around great. Like, I couldn't go to any other school. Like, I love playing with these guys.
You know, I'm not so sure I've been around a team has any better chemistry than we have on this team. And chemistry, and I've said this many a time, a new team is easy to put new pieces together if you have good character and good people. And we have good people.
If Hilltopper stereo wasn't enough to put you in the WKU basketball spirit, you're in luck. The Topper basketball team is hosting an intra-squad scrimmage this Saturday in E.A. Diddle Arena to give an extended preview of the upcoming season. The event is free and open to the public. Some new names to look out for are Lamonte Bearden and Darius Thompson, as well as forward Dwight Colby, all transfers that have completed in an NCAA tournament at some point. Forward Justin Johnson leads the pack for his last go-around of basketball on the Hill. The doors of this event open at 10:30 on Saturday morning.
5 former Hilltopper Hoops players have now earned opportunities to play professional basketball. Q Johnson is headed to Brazil to suit up for Jonesville basketball. Ben Lawson has joined Lefkava Arupa in Cyprus. Junior Lamamba and Anton Waters will both be playing in Cyprus as well for the Popho Basketball Club. And of course, as we learned this summer, Pancake Thomas is headed to Germany as he signed to play professionally with the Mitteldeutscher Basketball Club. This season, nearly 20 former Toppers will be playing professional basketball.
And now, speaking of Hilltopper basketball, we have Sam Porter live to talk some more Hilltopper hoops. Sam, welcome.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Now, Sam, we have many new faces on the WKU men's basketball team. Can you kind of give us a look on who stood out at Hilltopper Hysteria last weekend?
Yeah, one of the biggest questions coming into this year was who's going to replace Q Johnson and Pancake Thomas at the guard position. There's a few names you can throw around in there. One of them is Lamonte Bearden, transferred in here from Buffalo, helped lead Buffalo to the NCAA tournament a couple years ago. Another name is Josh Anderson, a 4-star recruit, the most highly rated WKU recruit coming into this year is a 4-star recruit out of Louisiana. Another name is, he's going to be a fan favorite. It's Tavion Hollingsworth, a 3-star recruit. Won Mr. Basketball honors last season out of Lexington, Kentucky. Those are 3 guys you can expect to see a lot on the court this year.
All right, Sam, now we're going to talk about some women's basketball. I know they've performed very well in the past few years. Do you think that's going to continue on for this season?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing about this WKU women's basketball team is they don't rebuild, they reload. And they won the Conference USA Championship a year ago, and a lot of people expect them to do the same this year. They lost Kendall Noble and Micah Jones, one of the best backcourts in all of college basketball and women's basketball last season. And one name you can look out for is Nichelle Tampa, a true freshman, came in, scored 11 points in Hilltopper Hysteria, and they also returned Tasia Brown and Ivy Brown as well in the post. Expect WKU women's basketball to be another favorite to win Conference USA again this year.
All right, well, thank you for joining us, Sam, and giving us a little preview on the upcoming WKU men's basketball season. Ben Hansborough, former WKU NBA guard and WKU assistant coach, resigned from his position with the Hilltopper basketball program earlier this week. This comes just days after Hansborough was arrested for driving under the influence. Bowling Green police responded to a report of a small collision at El Mazatlan between Hansborough and another subject. Officials say they smelled alcohol on Hansborough's breath and arrested him for a DUI. His departure leaves only Mark Shue and Nikita Johnson as the only full-time assistants on Stansbury's staff. More drama has taken a toll on the University of Louisville. Extra Point reporter Emily Spink explains more on the situation.
Sorry, we are experiencing technical difficulties at the time. We're going to go on to... Absolutely.
All right, we've got the story ready now.
University of Louisville has taken a heavy hit. Rick Pitino has been fired in the wake of the Adidas bribery scandal. Interim U of L President Greg Postal says the decision was unanimous to terminate his contract with just cause.
I think as more issues now have been brought to our attention around recruiting issues related to men's basketball, the situation changes.
The decision came roughly 3 weeks after it was announced the team was implicated in a federal bribery and fraud investigation. Pitino's lawyer says the former head coach was unaware of the alleged scheme to secretly funnel cash to the family of a college recruit. Pitino is now suing Adidas. His lawyer calls emotional distress and humiliation caused by the company's wrongdoing. And a representative from the company responded to the lawsuit, saying Mr. Pitino's lawsuit is clearly a reaction to his termination and is without merit. Fans are reacting to the news of Pitino being fired from the program.
It's a big surprise, and I think at first it's definitely going to take some time to get used to. I think there still is a really big support system within the U of L community, but it is going to take some time to get used to.
Pitino was head coach for the Louisville Cardinals since 2001. He was also inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2013. Reporting for Extra Point, I'm Emily Spink.
The University of Louisville also fired athletic director Tom Jurek on Wednesday.
It's week 10 for high school football, and we've got you covered on all area scores. Also, a big matchup takes place tomorrow night in Bowling Green. We'll show you who that is.
And we usually just give you the scoop on high school football, but tonight we've got your update on the high school boys soccer tournament coming up.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
Recently, our country has witnessed catastrophic devastation. Hurricanes and flooding have upended lives and livelihoods.
Across this great country, Americans have answered the call.
That special calling that compels us, when others are down, to step up and do whatever it takes.
America's at her best when, against all odds, we come together and lift each other up.
Please donate to oneamericaappeal.org. America needs you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Needless to say, WKU Volleyball is killing not only sets, but also their schedule for the 2017 season. The team extended their winning streak to 17 with a sweep at FIU on Sunday. The Lady Toppers roster was in full swing against FIU, never trailing behind their opponent in points. Rachel Anderson locked down the net with 2 kills at the first 4 points of the game. On the defensive side of things, sophomore Emma Kolowski guarded the back row, being the only player from either side to record double-digit digs, her 12th honor this season. Heading back home to the home court at WKU Volleyball, they'll host their next 4 matches beginning with UTEP tomorrow night. With 20 straight sets won and a 32-game winning streak versus Conference USA opponents, WKU Volleyball is known for their ability to sweep the competition. For the 7th consecutive week, a WKU Volleyball student athlete has been named Player of the Week by Conference USA. This week it goes to none other than Sydney Engel. Engel, a senior from Floyd's Knobs, Indiana, has now claimed this award for the past 5 weeks, making her a valuable asset on the WKU roster. Players like Engel is why WKU's record for the 2017 season remains strong at 21-2.
Now let's take a look at some WKU women's soccer. They played at home last weekend, first taking on Florida Atlantic University. Coming off of a 3-match losing streak, WKU freshman Tally Bishop made the match-winning goal and, well, scored the only points in the game, making the final score 1-0 for WKU's first CUSA win of the season. Then on Sunday, another shutout for Western side. Sophomore Chandler Back scored the first points of the game, and soon after, the Tops doubled their lead. Hannah Chua drove the ball down the field into the box to set up freshman Tally Bishop once again to score that final goal of the game, making the end result a 2-0 win for WKU. Two WKU soccer players are receiving CUSA titles after a weekend of wins. For the second time in a month, Christina Brigado is named CUSA Defensive Player of the Week, and Allison Leone is Goalkeeper of the Week as of Monday afternoon. This is nothing new for Leone, as she now holds a WKU record for winning the most weekly awards. She also ranked second in solo shutouts this season among all other 2017 CUSA goalkeepers. Congratulations, ladies. Up next, the Hilltopper soccer team already is hitting the road to San Antonio, Texas to take on UTSA. Going into this match, WKU sits 3 points out of the final spot to qualify for the CUSA tournament with 3 matches remaining. Tonight's matchup against UTSA begins at 7 p.m. Following this game, the Tops face off to Marshall and UAB next weekend.
For Region 4 high school soccer, the tournament was smooth sailing up to the semifinals. Warren Central cruised to a 9-0 victory against Clinton County in the semifinals. Up next in a battle for the spot in the championship game, Glasgow versus South Warren. South Warren came out on the field with the most shots and the majority of ball possession, but just couldn't find the back of the net. Glasgow capitalized on this and beat South Warren 1-0. The final of the region tournament begins tonight in a battle for the first title in school history for both teams. Kickoff begins at 6:30, Glasgow versus Warren Central.
Of the 17 clubs on WKU's campus, there's one club that has been around longer than most. Lauren McCourt sat down with the fencing club to see what they're all about.
The fencing club is not only one of the oldest clubs at WKU, but the original founder of the club is now the coach. Daniel Faller was one of the co-founders of the fencing club back when it first came to Western in 1976.
Well, I actually started fencing when I was a student here at Western.
Faller has inspired many of the club's members, but one previous student has decided to use what he has learned to help out.
He's a great guy, he really is, and he's really pushed fencing here in Bowling Green here at Western. He's been a driving force for it.
Today's members really look up to Faller and appreciate his methods of coaching.
He's a really good teacher. He'll help you learn the final points of fencing, some of the details and techniques that I never knew before.
He's just been a really good teacher and a really good, explaining things to us and teaching us how exactly the sport works and like the finer details rather than just, practice all the time.
See, the best times I ever learned from him are when we spar together, just because that's when I put everything he's taught me to use and then get to actually go against him and, try things out.
Faller has been very proud of his students through the years and keeps small mementos of his students' accomplishments.
These are copies that I know these were sent to me in 1985, okay? Dan sent them after I moved from Kentucky up to Washington, D.C. with the military.
Dan says fencing has played a big part of his life and hopes to see the sport grow in the future.
The good thing about fencing, it's something you can do your whole life.
For The Extra Point, I'm Lauren McCourt.
The fencing club is always seeking new members and hopes to expand their name. For more information, you can visit WKU's website at wku.edu.
There is a new Fighting Irish recruit just down the road. Find out who this star player is coming up.
And we'll give you an update on what happened last week in high school football.
Day out here, sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help.
You were probably going to turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay. Right? If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about.
They met up with the Wildcats. It was clear from the start that the Dragons were outmatched in this one as they allowed Franklin Simpson to get out to a hot start. And well, the Cats didn't look back. They got the dub 50-0. This pushes the boys from Franklin up to a 5-3 record on the season, while Warren Central fell to an 0-8 this year. If you want to check out either team this week, they'll both be playing home games tomorrow night. Kickoff is at 7. Next up, Greenwood took on Grayson County at home last Friday, and 2 words can sum up this one: Tristan Wilson. The Greenwood running back imposed his will on the Grayson County defense, rushing for 173 yards on 13 carries and found the end zone once. His quarterback Jackson Adams added 12 points to the board as he brought in 2 rushing touchdowns of his own. Greenwood snatched the win in this one with a final score of 41-6, putting them at 3-5 on the season, while Grayson dropped to 1-7. Both teams will play their final home match of the season tomorrow night, as Greenwood takes on the Highland Bluebirds and Grayson will play Barron County.
It was exciting Friday night for Warren East as they squared up against Allen County Scottsville Patriots. The Raiders locked down the Patriots offense with senior defensive back Caleb Husky. He quickly picked off ACS's attempts with 4 interceptions, adding to ACS's 6 turnovers. Warren East turned up the heat just enough to earn a 17-13 victory over Allen County Scottsville. This is an exciting win for the Raiders because it secured them their first home playoff game since 2014. The district title showdown is set for Warren Central versus Franklin Simpson this Friday at 7 o'clock.
The Spartans of South Warren sat this past week out as it was their turn for a bye week. They dropped their first game of the season 2 weeks ago as they fell to Ravenwood, Tennessee. They play the highly anticipated game against Bowling Green High School tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Now that high school football season is almost over, most football players are committing to different schools to continue their football careers. One in particular is junior defensive tackle from South Warren High School, who has made his decision to commit early. Harrison Falk has more.
Warren Jr. Jacob Lacey is a hot commodity, receiving offers from 12 different schools, including Clemson, Louisville, Michigan, Vanderbilt, and Florida State. The defensive tackle made his decision to play football at Notre Dame on July 29, 2017.
I come from a family of teachers, so academics has always been a part of my life, and really I have a little history there with my cousin playing there back in the 70s, so that kind of stuck with me a little bit.
Lacey also considered the new coaching staff in his decision. In December 2016, Notre Dame acquired a new defensive coordinator from Wake Forest, Mike Elko.
At Notre Dame, he's really stepped it up, and once he gets the players that he wants, his defense will be no doubt one of the best in the nation.
He thanks his coaches and family for helping him get where he is now. He also thanks his friend's dad, Carl Hayes, who helped him finalize his decision.
When I walk in, he's sitting in the room talking with my dad, and we sat for maybe about 5 hours talking it out, you know, the goods and the bads of each school, and he helped me out big time about, you know, that's part of the reason why I got to commit so early was because he helped me realize, you know, the things that'll happen and the things that won't, and the bad and the good.
Jacob is the #1 defensive tackle in Kentucky. In 2016, he played 13 games, averaging 24 solo tackles and 48 assisted tackles. This gave him a total of 72 tackles that year. Due to his athleticism, he is a rarity in high school football.
Teams do their offense around Jacob. They scout us, and they tell their team that they need to watch out for Jacob. So pretty much if we play a team, then it's all about Jacob.
I think he's got a chance to be a really good player. He's got great leadership skills, great work ethic. The potential is there for him to have a big impact.
Reporting for Extra Point, I'm Harrison Volk.
If you want to see Jacob play tomorrow, as we said earlier, you can see them at Bowling Green High School, kickoff at 7 p.m.
Not only do we have one jaw dropper for you, nope, we have 2, but both from the same game. We'll show you all how it all went down in Nashville. Be ready to pick that jaw up off the floor.
Sweetheart,
think about your future. Jeff over there did, and just look at him. He saved up, bought a house, he's got a beautiful wife. They even had a fancy pants destination wedding, and oh, they had a baby! Ah! Smart and handsome, ooh la la. Now, I've been saving these frames for pictures of my future grandbabies for years, and the shopping sprees on organic clothing and telephone cases is not helping you save for a family. Oh, gracious! Look at that! He's a model! Oh. I bet you he's putting all that money right into a 401k or his baby's college fund. And his teeth are so straight. See how good saving can look at feedthepig.org. Feed the pig.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes, and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Heroes always get remembered, and this week we have someone who has earned this honor many times before here on the Extra Point. But it's his first time this year. Can you guess who it is? Of course you can. Bingo, you got it. Mike White earns honors as our hero on the Hill after his very impressive homecoming performance against Charlotte on Saturday. The senior QB found the end zone 6 different times, 5 through the air to 5 different receivers, and 1 on the ground. He would finish the game with 398 yards passing as the Tops rolled over the 49ers 45-14.
Every week we bring you one play that is sure to make your eyes widen and your jaws drop. But this week we have 2 different plays from the same game. Yep, that's right, 2 plays. We'll show you now. It's Monday Night Football, Colts against the Titans. Jacoby Brisket makes a pass to WKU alum Jack Doyle, and he makes that 8-yard touchdown pass, scoring for the Colts, putting them ahead at the beginning of the game. And up next, quarterback Marcus Mariotto makes a deep pass to Taywan Taylor. There it is. And he escapes that defense, taking the ball all the way to an end zone. Touchdown, Titans. The Titans go on to win that game 36-22.
All right, Katie, so personally, it's my favorite time during the show. You know, the time that we get to talk about any WKU sports team that we want.
But what should we talk about, Madison?
I think you know what we should talk about.
I think the obvious answer is WKU volleyball.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, the volleyball not only has been killing it on the court, but also with their conference schedule.
Yes, and is it true they just broke the CUSA record with 30 straight wins of opponents in this league for this season?
Absolutely, it's phenomenal. You really just can't touch this WKU volleyball team, especially this year. They have an amazing dynamic on the court right now. And so really, I think it's led by the seniors going in. It's Jessica Lucas, it's Alyssa Cavanaugh, and it's also Sydney Engel, who is just now becoming a star player on that WKU volleyball team.
Right, and Alyssa Cavanaugh was the 2016 Conference USA Player of the Year last year, 2016. We also have some more award-winning athletes on the volleyball team this year.
Absolutely. So what do you think these seniors that I just mentioned, they're going to be leaving? How do you think the future is for the Hilltopper volleyball team?
Well, I think even though they're gone, head coach Travis Hutchin does such a good job at recruiting that this team won't have any problem. Up next, they're looking to continue their winning streak against UTEP this weekend. And I also think that when these seniors graduate, the underclassmen will step up and take their place, and you know, this team will just rock it next year as well.
One underclassman really stands out to me. It's sophomore Emma Kolowski. She is just a killer on the back line. You normally don't see that. Usually just see them just digging balls and that's it. But she really makes that WKU defense stand up and cheer for those Hilltopper volleyball teams. We have that offensive line. We have Alyssa Cavanaugh and we have Jessica Lucas, but she really puts up the team.
That's right.
All
right, well, that is all the time we've got for today, Madison. As always,
it's up.
And it's good. Thanks for watching.
Tuning in.